morning, everybody. Thank you for coming out. This morning, we wanted to update you on the investigation into the death of Officer Jacai Colson, who was killed here on March 13th. I just want to begin by saying I have had an opportunity to meet with the family of Detective Colson, and my heart continues to go out to them. They had a truly magnificent son, and as a parent, I truly just can't imagine what they are experiencing, but we want to continue to offer our sympathies to them as well as to the entire Prince George's County community. As we explained early on, we have conducted two separate investigations. Those investigations include what happened at the District 3 police station involving Malik, Michael, and Elijah Ford. We have also simultaneously conducted an investigation into the police officer involved aspect of the shooting that resulted in the death of Officer Colson. I can tell you that we have presented this matter to the grand jury. They spent 7 weeks reviewing all of the evidence in this case, where they had an opportunity to review physical evidence, forensic evidence, to review evidence regarding the geographical nature of the case, of the scene, and they were allowed to also apply what they learned to the facts of this case. And after reviewing that evidence and from hearing from witnesses over a 7-week period, they have declined to return an indictment charging Officer Krause, who has been identified, Officer Taylor Krause, as the shooter in this case. They have declined to return an indictment. What we will do from here is to continue the case against Michael, Elijah, and Malik Ford. We anticipate that trial will come up in October. And again, we want to continue to offer our sympathies to the family in this case. These are very, very trying circumstances, and but we are looking forward to continuing with our case and holding the Ford, Michael, Malik, and Elijah Ford accountable for their attack on our District 3 police station. So if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer those questions.
What does this mean for Officer Krause now? He's been on administrative leave. Does he go back onto the force, back to work?
So now the police department conducts its own investigation, and so what happens from here will be determined by the police department and the procedures that they have put in place.
You said that they've done they did some site visits to the scene of the shooting. What were they looking at? Take us through what was shown to this grand jury.
So this was a very active grand jury, and they were allowed and given the opportunity to study the geography of the scene, to have an opportunity to visit the scene, and to ask any questions they had about how things appeared on the day that this occurred.
And I know yesterday when we were dealing with the Temple Hill shooting, you had that reasonable doubt standard, or what would a reasonable person do standard. For this case, what was that standard in terms of whether or not the grand jury would come back with an indictment against this officer?
So we presented an array of charges, everything from first-degree murder to depraved heart murder, involuntary manslaughter, misconduct in office. These were some of the charges that the grand jury had an opportunity to consider. One of the key elements of it would have been recklessness, not merely whether the actions in this case were negligent, but whether or not the actions of this officer, in the mind of a reasonable person acting in his position, would have been reckless. And that is one of the aspects that the grand jury had to consider and make a decision about.
Did the officer know Jacai Colson on a personal level? Did they know each other?
As far as I know, he did not know him on a personal level. I think he did know him as a member of the department. In fact, I think they may have had some training together at some point. But I don't know that they were personal friends, for example, but I know that they did know each other, and I believe that they had some training together.
Could you describe this as a step forward in this terrible tragedy for both Officer Krause and the police department, everyone involved? What does the grand jury's decision do in terms of moving this forward emotionally and everything else?
This is such a painful situation. You know, even if the case continues to move forward, they are very painful steps. I can tell you, excruciatingly painful, especially for this family who we had an opportunity to meet with over the course of a day. And so the case will continue forward. But I don't know that anyone feels any sense of relief, for example, that we have a chance to move forward, because there is just, this is excruciating. It just is. There's no happy ending in this, no matter what. So we have concluded the investigation involving Officer Kraus. We answered the questions. The grand jury had an opportunity to answer the questions, to consider all of the questions and make a decision regarding the police officer involved aspect of it. But moving forward is, it's, in other words, like I say, there's no relief in moving forward.
If you were the grand jury